Coming up on News Live at 6, the longest State of the Union in U.S. history, what you missed, and who is repping the Syracuse Orange in the gallery.
This year, we plowed probably twice as much as we did last year.
Plus, how brutal winter conditions are affecting a local farm and how the farm is responding.
And it's snowing pretty hard out here. What you can expect for the rest of the evening when News Live at 6 starts right now.
This is CitrusTV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
Farmers throughout the region are struggling to make it through the winter months. Thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Holdmeyer.
And I'm Cora Mayer-Costa. This winter has brought over 10 feet of snow to Onondaga County. Our Ben Ross spoke to a local farmer who told him how he's adjusting to the colder temperatures.
Where are the eggs?
Is the number one question customers are asking Craig Kennedy of Twin Brooks Camillus Farm this winter.
That's where we get our eggs.
Temperatures have dropped so low. Kennedy says for the first time, eggs have been freezing in the barn.
We lost a lot of eggs because they get hard as a rock. It gets so cold in there. It's just amazing. So that's an issue we had to deal with this year. We did in the past so much.
Kennedy is the fourth generation of the farm, which has been operating since the early 1900s. And while Syracuse is no stranger to snow, he says this winter's conditions are hurting farm operations and causing a decline in revenue like never before.
This year we plowed probably twice as much as we did last year. Yeah, and it's been cold, super cold, and so what we do now, we have to go out at dusk and close the doors on the chickens.
ESF professor Christine Georgakakos says this is likely due to Syracuse experiencing cold temperatures for several days in a row.
Because we are seeing these really big swings in temperature and precipitation, and farms see the brunt of that. I think any farmer you talk to is going to say, oh yeah, here are the differences that I see today from whatever 10, 15, 20 years ago.
And when winter fields look like this, blanketed with snow, the only way farmers can respond is to adapt.
I think the most important part is just being dynamic and reading the landscape and reading the weather climate conditions, and then being ready to pivot.
In Camillus, Ben Ross, CitrusTV News.
Ben, thank you. And staying on the farm, one CNY teen is being honored as a New York State Dairy Ambassador. Christiana Borst of Cortland County will receive a $1,500 scholarship from the American Dairy Association Northeast. The organization chooses 3 people to participate each year. Duties include promoting the state's dairy industry, educating people about the benefits of milk, and how to produce a sustainable product. New York State is the largest producer of yogurt and cottage cheese nationwide and the 5th largest producer of milk.
You know, it really seems like New York State is the largest producer of snow at this point.
I 100% agree with you, Cora. It was snowing again this afternoon. Not something I really expected for my day. But
no, it's been crazy, the snow and everything. Our Kate Tannenbaum is outside currently. Kate, how is it looking out there? It looks insane to us.
It looks beautiful.
Yeah, guys, it is about 34 degrees out here right now, and it is snowing pretty hard. It's been snowing on and off all day, but it is really coming down now. And if we take a look at the roads behind me, there's not too many people out there, which is probably a good thing because a winter weather advisory was just put in place specifically telling drivers about the low visibility. Because of how hard it's snowing right now, visibility is only at about a quarter of a mile. So officials are urging drivers to please take extreme cautions on the road, or better yet, stay home until this snow clears up a little bit. But luckily, hopefully, that shouldn't be too long. We're not expecting this snow to last for more than another hour or two, and by the evening, it should clear up and temperatures will drop to around 21 degrees. Guys, back to you.
All right, Kate, thank you for that update. And turning now to new details, reservations are now open for commencement weekend housing on campus, but it's going to cost you. Friends and family of graduating students can book a weekend stay at Sadler Hall for $320. That's up $20 from last year's rate. The rooms are limited to 2 adults and 2 children each, with the university providing 2 twin beds with linens. However, guests can also bring a crib or air mattress. The university will not provide toiletries, hangers, or an iron. More information can be found on the university's housing website.
Now, what won't cost you is the Student Government Association's EKG heart screenings. These screenings will be at Barnes Center from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. on March 29th. Now, this is a partnership with Who We Play For, an organization that works to eliminate cardiac deaths. The SGA says EKG screenings take about 5 minutes and can detect heart conditions that show no symptoms. It is free for students and spots are limited though, so students can now register on the Barnes Center website.
And former President and alumnus Joe Biden is visiting Syracuse. He will be at Syracuse's law school on April 14th. This is the day his official portrait is being unveiled inside Dineen Hall. This is Biden's first time coming to Syracuse since his presidency. He previously spoke at the law school's graduation in 2016. Biden himself graduated from the law school in 1968.
From one alum to another, the Alumni Association has announced the names of 6 people who will be honored during their 2026 award celebration. The George Arntz Award will be given to Chancellor Kent Severud and Dr. Ruth Chen. This is the university's highest alumni honor. The Generation Orange Award is being given to Ronald Taylor, a graduate from 2015. This award recognizes graduates for their career success. Diana Ouija will receive the Melvin A. Eggers Senior Alumni Award.
Danielle Danello will and the Volunteer of the Year Award is going to Akima Rogers. The awardees are picked by the Alumni Association's Board of Directors. The awards will take place on April 23rd. A new club is bringing people together at SU.
Our Perline Diol is here in studio to tell us more. Perline.
Thank you, Cora and Lauren. Over the last 2 years, the Chinese language minor and major have seen steady growth. The Chinese Language Learning Club, recently formed, is evidence of that and is already building a community of those interested in the Chinese language.
Our main goal for the Chinese Language Learning Club was really to create a space outside of the classroom where students who have an interest in the Chinese language or culture or who are currently enrolled in the Chinese language minor can have a space to learn more, chat, build connections, and just get some more experience outside of the classroom.
Earlier this year, Syracuse University announced cutting funding from different language programs. How has this really affected the Chinese language minor and major?
The bigger family of languages, literatures, linguistics, which is under the College of Arts and Sciences banner. It has mostly impacted us through the overall operating budget of LLL instead of the Chinese minor per se. So for example, for our very popular annual Chinese New Year hot pot party, we've voluntarily scaled down the expenses a little bit to help our department and college through these difficult times. Overall, we have what we can do hasn't been affected too much.
The Chinese Language Learning Club hopes to see similar success as other language clubs on campus, with more events when they become a recognized student organization next semester. For CitrusTV News, I'm Perline Diol.
Thank you, Perline. The Syracuse Roman Catholic Diocese is settling after years of sexual abuse lawsuits. They say they will pool over $176 million to go towards sexual abuse survivors to get out of bankruptcy.
They originally filed for bankruptcy in 2020 after facing hundreds of abuse lawsuits. Bishop Douglas Lucia says he again offers his most heartfelt apology to those who have suffered such harm and for any past neglect in addressing it.
And now new details on the Baldwinsville teacher placed on leave. The family of the child's sexuality who she questioned is speaking out. It took place in the student club Youth Alive, advised by Jennifer Fasulo. When the student came out as bisexual, Fasulo told him to step away from the club. The child refused, and Fasulo suggested they discuss the issue after school with their Bibles. The teacher was placed on leave after the student told the principal about the exchange. A petition on change.org to bring back Fasulo, saying she is facing discrimination, now has 2,500 signatures.
The Baldwinsville School District has also commented on this situation. Many people speculated Fasulo's leave was due to her involvement with Club America, a high school chapter of Turning Point USA.
The superintendent says Club America is an approved student organization. He says, "We appreciate our community's continued support and cooperation as we focus on maintaining a safe and respectful school environment for all. The district did not directly name the teacher on leave.
Now moving east to Clay, Micron has secured the last piece of land needed to start construction. The area purchased will run the company's underground industrial wastewater lines west from the factory to the plant. So far, Micron has spent more than $11 million to acquire land and deeds.
State Senator Christopher Ryan is advancing legislation to widen access to affordable health care and to lower prescription drug costs. This is part of the New York State Affordable Drug Manufacturing Act. This helps to lower costs and protect against the lack of supplies. The law includes blocking generic drug competition, requiring insurance of diabetes-related screenings, requiring transparency from drug manufacturers, and finding where consumer cost savings are possible.
And to the latest on tariffs in New York State, Governor Kathy Hochul is asking the Trump administration to refund $13.5 billion. This comes after the Supreme Court ruled his tariffs unconstitutional. Hochul is asking to redistribute the money among New Yorkers. She says that these senseless and illegal tariffs were just a tax on New York consumers, small businesses, and farmers.
And new tonight, New York Attorney General Letitia James is suing game developer Valve. The lawsuit that alleges that games like Counter-Strike and Team Fortress use gambling-style mechanics to entice children and teens to spend money on their games.
In those games, users can buy mystery boxes with the chance to win prizes they can cash in on. Some items have been sold online marketplaces for as much as $1 million. James says these tactics are deceptive, and Valve must remove such mechanics from their games and pay fines. Coming up on News Live at 6, the State of the Union was last night. We'll have our reporter in D.C. breaking it all down and telling you how local officials responded.
And the U.S. and Iran are meeting in Geneva. We'll tell you why and what they're talking about when News Live at 6 returns right after the break.
Welcome to my house. Lately, not my happy place. Everybody's pretty tired of each other. The parents were not themselves. My little brothers were morphing into small creatures. The walls were closing in. Clearly, a case of too much family, too close, 24/7. And there's a lot of that going around right now. If this sounds like your house, try going someplace new. YourLifeYourVoice.org. You'll find lots of ideas to help you handle the family stresses of being confined to close quarters. YourLifeYourVoice.org. It might not get you out of the house, but it could help you find a little more breathing room.
If you see news happening on campus, in Syracuse, or across the nation, call the CitrusTV newsroom, 315-443-1177, or tweet at CitrusTV News, your campus news leader.
Isn't that a shame? You should be ashamed of yourself not standing up.
Now, what you hear was President Donald Trump scolding Democrats for not standing during the State of the Union last night. Trump had delivered the longest address in history last night, touting the economy during a critical manufacturing moment for Central New York.
Syracuse Mayor Sharon Owens sat alongside New York Congressman John Mannion throughout the address. Our Ben Bassick joins us from Washington, D.C. with the latest. Ben?
Moments made for TV. That was last night's State of the Union, so let's talk ratings. Among a largely Republican audience, about 2/3 had a somewhat positive reaction to the address, according to a CNN poll.
Members of Congress and my fellow Americans, our nation is back, bigger, better, richer, and stronger than ever before. One of the primary reasons for our country's stunning economic turnaround were tariffs.
But a third of viewers are unconvinced, especially on the economy. That includes Congressman Mannion and Mayor Owens, who chose to sit in the gallery rather than attend a counter-protest on the National Mall.
A lot of great things are happening. We want to continue that with Micron and the 81 project. Part of the what happened was a cut to a Reconnecting Communities grant that is really going to impact the city, unfortunately, $30 million. It's widely known 86% of the tariffs are being put on to consumers, American consumers, driving up their costs. We should correct that.
Just 4 of 9 Supreme Court justices sat in the front row days after ruling against most of the president's tariffs.
Supreme Court's unfortunate involvement. Foreign countries will, like in the past, substantially replace the modern-day system of income tax.
Focus shifted between the president and the chamber.
Penalties for public officials who block the removal of criminal aliens.
Some moments brought everyone to their feet. The U.S. men's hockey team, presidential honors, and a Venezuelan political prisoner reunited with his niece. President Trump's midterm message isn't new: immigration, culture wars, and the economy. But now voters have an almost year-long record to turn to heading into November. From Washington, Ben Bassick, Citrus TV News.
Ben, thank you for your coverage. Representative John Mannion also put out a statement this morning. He says President Trump's speech was full of rhetoric and lies.
Mannion says the president's claims that the elections are rigged are especially dangerous. He says we can disagree on policy without eroding trust in our democracy. Now, Mannion wasn't the only one who disagreed with President Trump. Iran says he lied about attacking any nuclear facilities on their soil. Iranian officials deny any existence of their nuclear program.
When responding to President Trump, the Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesman compared him to Adolf Hitler's propaganda minister. He accused the president of conducting a misinformation campaign against Iran.
Now, this comes as a third round of nuclear negotiations between the U.S. and Iran are starting. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi will speak with U.S. envoys tomorrow in Geneva.
And now to the latest on the Senate hearings. Trump's second nominee for Surgeon General testified before the Senate Health Committee today.
Her hearing was over 2 hours long. Dr. Casey Means was questioned by senators about vaccines, birth control, and her focus on chronic disease. She says she supports Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s Make America Healthy Again initiative.
And coming up after the break, I'll have your 5-day forecast. Stick with us.
Hi, my name is Sadie Miller.
My name is Luke Brady. I go by St. Luke.
So this one I started with this guitar lick.
Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. Prediabetes does. 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, but with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. And you can change the outcome. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.
From the CitrusTV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Welcome back into News Live at 6. We're looking at your 5-day forecast. Tomorrow it's going to be cloudy with a high of 29 and a low of 19 degrees. And then Friday and Saturday we're going to get a little reprieve from this cold. We're going to see some sun with a high of 41 degrees on Friday and a low of 35. And then Saturday a high all the way up at 47 degrees with a low of 24. Sunday, unfortunately, that snow is going to return with a high of 27 degrees and a low of 10. But then Monday, we'll see the sun again with a high of 21 and a low of 9 degrees. So as you can see, our forecast is a little all over the place this week, but I'm almost hesitant to complain after we were so lucky to miss any of that snow from the blizzard that hit most of the rest of the Northeast earlier this week. And as you can see here, I've gathered some photos from some friends and family who live in other states who did experience this blizzard. That first one all the way over there is from a friend of mine who lives in Providence. She said that they got a record-breaking 33 inches of snow, and it was so high that she couldn't open her door. This one in the middle is probably my favorite. It's from a friend of mine who lives in New York City, and she's showing a picture there that shows that the snow was taller than her dog. And then the last one on the end there is from my own front yard back in Philadelphia, taken courtesy of my mother, and you can see that the snow is absolutely covering the streets and all the trees. So at least we didn't experience any of that. We're going to see some warm weather and some colder weather this week, but at least it's nothing like that. Guys, I'm going to send it back to you.
Okay, Kate, looking forward to some of those sunnier conditions later this weekend. Well, Discord is delaying its global age verification rollout after users are criticizing the plan announced earlier this month. It would have both new and existing users take video selfies to determine their age group.
Discord says it will require less than 10% of users to actually verify their age. The rollout was supposed to start in early March, but it is now being delayed to the second half of the year. And speaking of unplanned things, Nico Horning, how has women's lacrosse been?
Well, it's been a tough start for the SU women's lacrosse team against 3 ranked opponents. They've lost all of them, but a chance to bounce back yesterday. Plus, the Knicks and Nets were in action as well. And the NHL returns after the U.S. team won Olympic gold in Milan. Sports is next.
And now, your CitrusTV Sports Report.
Back here on News Live at 6, I'm Nico Horning in sports. The 12th ranked Syracuse women's lacrosse team has struggled lately with 3 losses to top 10 teams, including Maryland and the top 2 teams in the nation, North Carolina and Stanford. But a 4th opportunity to get in the win column arrived last night in the Dome against 13th ranked Loyola. Syracuse first-year head coach Reggie Thorpe has a shot to win his first game at the helm of the Orange. And we jump to the second quarter where SU held a 1-goal lead. Emma Muchnick charging to the goal and scores for Syracuse. 5-3 SU leads. Third quarter now, Molly Guzik gets the goal, punches it in the back of the net, and Syracuse leads at 7-4. Guzik had a career-high 3 goals for the Orange. Just a couple of minutes later, Melina Cotter finds the back of the net for Syracuse. She had 2 goals, and it's 9-4 Orange. And then Mackenzie Borby scores late in the third. Quite the third quarter for Syracuse. They jump to a 13-4 advantage. And then finally, in the fourth, Jolie Caramelli wins it for the Orange, and Syracuse takes it 15-7. Thorpe notches his first career victory as well as head coach, and Syracuse ended up taking it over Loyola, and they'll prepare to head down to Louisville on Saturday. That'll be a noon contest between Syracuse and Louisville. In the NBA, the Knicks ended up playing the Cavs last night, and they were in action in Cleveland. New York had won 3 of the 4 contests before yesterday's game. And James Harden, who had been dealt to the Cavs, had won 5 of 6 beginning earlier this month in February. And that game ended up being a 109-94 final score. The Knicks ended up winning that one for New York. As far as the Knicks go, they will take that loss and head to they'll head on the road to Milwaukee on Friday. New York lost that one by 15. James Harden, who injured his right thumb, has not been given a timeline going forward. And then again, the Knicks ended up dropping that one to look to get back on track going forward. All right, that does it for me in sports. We'll send it back to you guys.
All right, Nico, definitely some exciting stuff coming up.
Thank you. Stay tuned for our wake-up weather.
Dad?
Just 1 minute, okay?
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it?
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got? Or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, babe.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Welcome back into News Live at 6. We're looking at your wake-up weather. When you wake up tomorrow morning, it's going to be around 24 degrees around 9 a.m. and there is a possibility of some more flurries in the morning, but hopefully that should clear up by noon when it's going to be around 28 degrees, and for the rest of the day, those clouds will just continue. And around 6 p.m., it's going to be around 26 degrees. Guys, that's all for me. Sending it back to you.
All right, Kate, and hopefully those skies will clear soon because you might just see a planetary parade. This phenomenon happens when multiple planets appear to line up in the sky at once.
Now, 6 planets will be able to be visible by the end of this week. Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, Saturn will be visible to your naked eye, but Uranus and Neptune, however, can only be spotted by using a telescope. Now, if you're looking to watch it, it will be available to see an hour after the sunset. So that's the best time to spot it. Lauren, when was the last time you went stargazing?
You know, Cora, I actually had a telescope growing up.
Really?
So sometimes whenever we knew that planets were going to be visible, we would bring the telescope out and go try and look at them.
That's such a cute family activity.
It was fun. Unfortunately, I don't have my telescope here in Syracuse, so I won't be able to get those nice close-up shots. But I'm sure it's still going to be a great show.
Oh my gosh.
Are you planning on watching it?
It's beautiful. Listen, I just love doing little observatory stuff. They have the observatory on campus. I wonder if they'll have it open.
I hope so. I mean, it's always amazing to see when you can see planets like this. I'm sure it's going to be something
Exactly,
to
we'll see.
Well, that's Citrus TV News live at 6 for this Wednesday evening.
Be sure to follow us on X and Instagram at CitrusTV News. I'm Cora Mayer-Costa.
And I'm Lauren Holdmeyer. Have a wonderful evening. See you next.